see you guys in the dark.
This happened my sophomore year of high school. My high school is down the street from a decently sized shopping center in the middle of a pretty large suburb. So the little plaza is normally busy, mostly because of the Starbucks, McDonald's, that all the kids went to after school, and the Walmart, of course. Now this Walmart isn't the typical warehouse type. It basically only carries groceries, so it typically doesn't attract your Walmart types. On the day this all went down, my friend and I decided to walk to McDonald's in the plaza to grab a bite to eat and chat. When I decided that I wanted to buy some cans from Walmart to donate to people in need of hurricane relief. Since we came directly from school and neither of us could drive, we both still had our backpacks on. I'm paranoid of being accused of stealing. I'm black, by the way, and definitely living in the most progressive area, to say the least. So I left my bag with my friend who waited outside while I bought my stuff. Now here's where it all goes downhill. I walk in and head straight towards the cans, which are on the edge of the aisle right next to the entrance. I was gathering cans in my arms when I see an old man, who's 70, possibly 80, hobbling along towards me. I assume that he's just walking into my aisle to shop, so I give him the polite, "Hi, how are you?" smile, and go back to my can shopping. Only now I realize that this guy's eyes are trained on me, and the closer we get to the aisle, the clearer it becomes that he's trying to talk to me. I'm a little weirded out at this point, but I again assume that he's harmless. I was wrong on this part. He eventually stops next to me, and I turn to him in acknowledgement, and he has this terrible fake smile on his face. Laughing, he says to me, "You know why I come to Walmart? To look at the beautiful girls like you." At this point, I started to become scared. My mind started racing to all sorts of conclusions, and I questioned what I should say or do. Should I yell for help? Ignore him? Be rude to him? I have no clue. I ended up trying to still be polite, and I simply said, "Thank you," hoping that that would satisfy him and he'd leave. Wrong again. This wasn't enough for him because now he started chatting me up. He asked some stuff that I don't bother remembering. Then he asked the golden question, "So how old are you?" This was it. This was my time to tell him my true age, and then he'd back off after learning that I was grossly underage. Finally, I had my ticket out of this horrific exchange, except when I told him that I was 14, he cocked his head at me, and his sick smile widened. "14, you say? I thought you were 17, he stated, while almost seeming more interested by learning this fact. At this point, I'm nearly in tears, but I'm too damn nice to tell anyone to leave me alone. So I just humored him with nods and mm-hms until he finally left. I was mortified. I felt violated and dirty for not telling him to leave me alone despite not having the courage to. After he was far out of sight, I walked over to the customer service counter and told him what happened. How he kept hitting on me even after assuming and knowing for the fact that I was underage. At this point, I was hysterical, and the customer service guy had the nerve to tell me that they wouldn't do anything at all, not even ask him to leave. I left the store without my cans and returned to my friend in tears and told her what had happened. My friend didn't take lightly to this guy and tried again to reason with customer service, but to no avail. We decided it was time to leave, so we called my mom to come get us and agreed to tell her when she arrived. When she did eventually pull into the parking lot, we told her everything, and once again, I was marched back into the store, but not to talk to customer service. By some stroke of luck, the guy was walking out of the store as we were walking in, and when I told my mom that that was the guy, she let loose on him. The wrath of an angry black mother was released on this unsuspecting old white dude. And this dummy responds, "I didn't know she was 14. Nice save, dickhead." So, to the Walmart predator, let's not meet ever again. My friend and I were at her apartment one night when she decided that she needed to do some shopping for the next day. I had a few items I needed as well, so we went to Walmart down the street. It was about 11 p.m., and this Walmart is 24 hours, so it is a hub for crazies. Anyway, we were using one cart and split up as both of us needed different items. I was standing with my cart in the mouthwash section when I took a step to my left to look at a different brand of mouthwash, when I noticed a man wearing a bright blue shirt come right beside of me. I took a step to my right to stand next to my purse that was in my cart, and it was in the kid seat thing of the cart. With my hand on the cart, I took a step to my left to go back to looking at the kind of mouthwash that I wanted. I noticed the man also took a step to his left. At first, I thought it was a coincidence, but I tested that theory by simply taking a step to my right and again to my left, all while not making eye contact with the man. He mirrored my movements. I grabbed the mouthwash I was looking at, threw it in my cart, and began looking for my friend. My back was to the man, so I couldn't see what he was doing. I found her a couple of aisles over at the vitamin section, and when I noticed that man again, this time near my friend, I shrugged it off and just moved on. We continued our shopping without making any mention of the man, also without seeing him. We got to the register, and I saw him again in another aisle. Again, I shrugged it off as coincidence. The area we live in up to this point was relatively safe, and he never heard much of anything, so I ignored him. Once we finished checking out, I had purchased chocolate milk and was super excited to drink it. So I was trying to open the bottle when my friend was frantically trying to get me to get to the car ASAP. I threw the bottle in one of the bags, and we began walking towards the sliding glass door. That was when my friend mentioned how a guy had been following her and was right behind us. I looked in the reflection of the glass and saw the same blue color shirt. I told her that he had been following me as well, and we booked it for my car. Now at this point, you might be thinking that we were overreacting, and I thought so until this point. My friend stood by the car watching the guy, and I was too as I frantically threw the groceries in my back seat on the opposite side so that I could watch him. He got in his car, which was across and a few cars down from us. I guess we were taking too long, and the guy got out and began pacing in the aisle of the parking lot. He almost looked like he was anxious and trying to look busy. I quickly finished putting all the bags in the car, and I whispered to my friend that I was done, and we booked it in the car. The guy notices that we were getting in the car, and he too rushed to his car. I sped out of the parking lot. As we were driving away, we took an extra 10 minutes just driving around so that the guy couldn't follow us. I took a bunch of random turns and ended up back at my friend's house. While we were driving, my friend mentioned how the highway that we were near was a hotspot for human trafficking since it goes through a major city and multiple states. So, to the creepy weirdo at Walmart, let's not meet or see you ever again. This happened about a year ago when I was 16. Keep in mind that I do look older than I am, and when I would wear makeup, I'd look like I'm 19 to 20. My parents and I went to a Walmart about 45 minutes away from my home when we went out for dinner. I was, like most teenagers, bored in the store, playing on my phone. My earbuds had gone out in one ear, and had been for like a month. So I asked my mom if I could go look to see if they were cheaper at this Walmart than they were at the Walmart closer to my home. So I go over there alone and look, and the price that I see is $2 cheaper, so I decided to text my mother and ask her if I could get a pair. So I'm leaning against the poles that they use to have a price checker on, and listening to the music while waiting for my mom to reply. Then this man walks up to me. He's about 5'8" and Mexican, wearing a faded blue jean shirt, had to be in his late 20s, maybe early 30s. He gets literally so close to my face that our noses are almost touching, and he says something in Spanish, and I looked at him and said, "What?" because I can't speak Spanish. Then he said in English, using this really creepy but lower voice, "You're very pretty." So I have goosebumps, by the way, and I pull my head farther back so his face isn't so close to mine. And I say, thanks. And he turns to his friend behind him and starts talking to him in Spanish. And as I said before, I can't understand Spanish. At that point, my mom texts me and tells me that I can get the pair of earbuds. So I grab a pair and go running away. Then, as I'm almost out of the aisle, I hear him call after me. Hey! When I stop and turn around, he says, Are you here by yourself? I yell, Nah, I'm with my family. And then I run away again. When I feel I've gotten far enough away, I call my mom and ask where she is. She tells me that she's in the beauty section. To get to the beauty section, I have to go back by where this guy was. So I start walking that way, and I'm thinking, if this guy approaches me again, then I'll just start talking loudly to my mom. But before I can even finish that thought, she hangs up on me. So I'm speed walking past this section of the store, and now this guy is at the edge of the aisle, just standing there watching me. So I see my mom and start jogging towards her. And I look behind me, and I swear to goodness this guy is following me. So I call for my mom, and she stops to wait for me. And I grab her arm, and I'm shaking. I just tell her that we need to keep walking and go find my dad. So the next day, my mother calls the Walmart and talks to the manager about what happened. And he says, Thanks for letting me know. I'll check to see if it's one of the ones we've been having trouble with. My mom later tells me that the town we were in, a lot of girls my age have gone missing from there. So at school on Monday, I ask one of my friends whose whole family is Mexican if that is normal in that culture, and she says no, that's pretty creepy. If my Tio ever saw that happening, he would beat the crap out of that person. She also said that she thought it sounded like sex trafficking, which is what everyone else I told the story to said. So needless to say, I'm much more observant and less carefree now. So creepy dude at Walmart, let's not meet ever again. My sister and I needed to go to Walmart to pick our mom up some groceries. We were in the freezer aisle when I looked up and noticed a man staring at me. Me being me, I said, that man must think I'm cute because he won't quit staring at me. We didn't think much else of it. We continued our shopping when I noticed him staring at me again, this time in a different aisle. I was starting to get creeped out. I told my sister maybe we should try going into a completely different part of the store. We went into women's clothing. He followed. Electronics. He also followed there. Realizing how scary this was, we decided to hurry up and check out and leave. We were relieved when we didn't see him as we were checking out. We were headed for the doors, and the coast looked pretty clear. I turned my head right as we were about to exit the store, and there he was. He came out of the bathroom right in front of where we checked out at. I knew he saw me, so we hurried to go to the car and put our groceries away. Of course, his vehicle was parked a few spots away from ours. We just sat in the car with the doors locked. We eventually decided to leave, and when we did, he began backing out as well. He was obviously following us. We parked in a different spot. Sure enough, so did he. I told my sister we should cut through one of the parking lots to get to the main road a different way. Luckily, this man got stuck behind a line of traffic waiting to leave Walmart as we were hurrying away. I'm not sure what his true intentions were, but I was later told how popular sex trafficking was in that area. So, creepy guy at Walmart, let's not meet ever again.
It was a typical afternoon at Walmart, and Sarah, a 15-year-old goth girl with jet black hair and dark eyeliner, walked alongside her family. They were on a mundane grocery run, but Sarah felt trapped in the brightly lit aisles filled with cheerful shoppers and F fluorescent signs. As her younger brother played with a toy in the cart, Sarah's attention drifted to the music section, a haven for anyone seeking a moment's escape. Unable to resist the lure of her favorite bands showcased on the colorful album covers, Sarah wandered off, leaving her family a few aisles behind. The music section was quieter than the rest of the store, and she found solace among the shelves of CDs and vinyl records. She skimmed her fingers along the spines of classic rock albums, feeling a connection to the artists who echoed her, feelings of loneliness and rebellion. Suddenly, her peace was interrupted by an eerie voice. "Hey there, sweetie. What are you looking for?" Sarah turned to see an old man, his skin wrinkled and pale, standing too close for comfort. He was dressed in a tattered band, t-shirt and cargo shorts, his eyes bearing a strange intensity. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine, realizing she had drifted into an uncomfortable situation. "Just browsing, thanks," she replied curtly, attempting to sidestep him and disappear into the rows of albums. The man chuckled, a raspy sound that resonated in the quiet aisle. "You look like you know good music. How old are you?" 15, Sarah stated, her heart racing. The old man's expression didn't change, his gaze unwavering. "What a shame. That's a bit young for someone to have such good taste. Want to share your number? We could talk music sometime," he suggested, leaning in closer. A wave of nausea hit Sarah. She stepped back, the cool metal of the shelves grounding her. "No, I don't think so. I should find my family," she mumbled, glancing around nervously. But the man didn't take the hint. He continued to follow her, staying just out of reach. "Come on, don't be shy. I know all the best concerts. You could learn a thing or two from me." Desperate to escape, Sarah started heading toward the exit of the music section, hoping to rejoin her family. But as she turned a corner, the man was there again, blocking her path. "You don't want to be alone in here, do you?" he pressed, a disturbing smile creeping onto his face. With every instinct screaming at her to run, Sarah's fear morphed into determination. She spotted her father at the end of the aisle, talking to her mom about snack options. She could see the love and safety in his presence. "Dad!" she called, her voice shaky, yet loud enough to gain his attention. The old man hesitated, taking a step back as she darted past him, navigating through the maze of aisles. "What's wrong, Sarah?" her father asked, concern clouding his features as he approached her quickly. She pointed back toward the music section, breathless. "That man, he wouldn't leave me alone." Understanding flashed in her father's eyes. He turned, scanning the area, but the old man had vanished, swallowed by the straying shadows of the store. "Let's go find your brother and get out of here," her father suggested, wrapping a protective arm around Sarah. Despite still feeling shaken, Sarah took a deep breath, grateful to be with her family again. But the encounter lingered in the back of her mind, a haunting reminder of how quickly safety could slip away. As they made their way to the checkout, she promised herself to never let her guard down again, even in the most ordinary of places. "I am an attractive female, age 19, with a curvaceous body and a decent-looking face. If I was a stalker, I would probably stalk me. Now to some important details. My family lives in a gated community in a 4,200 square foot house. If you enter the house through the front door, there is the dining room on the left and a study to your right. The hallway directly in front of you leads to the living room. Adjacent to the living room is the kitchen and laundry room. The master bedroom is downstairs, and there are 3 bedrooms upstairs as well as a game room. Anyways, one day we decided to make the tough decision to go to Walmart. I don't like going to Walmart because of how dangerous it is, but you do what you have to do. Anyways, we walk inside Walmart, and I'm walking down the makeup aisle. As I'm looking around at the Revlon products, some strange-looking man walked up to me and said, "Nice day outside, isn't it?" Immediately my toes start to curl because of how odd the situation is. Nice day? I know that this is just an attempt to give me to let my guard down. A few minutes later, I'm at the kitchen accessory aisle looking to buy a new set of pepper shakers. Some not very cute college-aged guy walked up to me and was like, "Isn't it crazy how many different kinds of salt and pepper shakers there are?" Are you kidding me? Now there are 2 potential stalkers in the store. I've read that book, The Gift of Fear, so I'm well aware that every stranger is a potential murderer that can't be trusted. With frantic steps, I stumbled out the door and fled across the parking lot to my Subaru Outback and drove home, running 2 stop signs in the process. It was worth it to get away from the potential stalker threat. This all happened this morning, and I'm sitting here typing this and trying not to hyperventilate. The problem is, I just realized that I never bought any of the stuff I meant to get at Walmart, so I know I'll have to go back there this evening.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos, and become a stalker of the night.
and I'll see you next time.